And there we are. We are live. So, and it's going to take a few minutes for us to get to where we can see each other. And just so you know,
Okay.
if you have a YouTube screen open, please mute it.
Okay. No, I don't have any. No.
Okay. I'm making sure that mine's muted everywhere. Okay, so we have a few people jumping on already. Let me go back to you, and I'm going to watch this on there. Okay, and okay, now I can see you again. Yay! And we already have people in the room. Hi, Mellow Yellow. We have a lady from the French Alps that really is hoping that she can stay up late enough. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning over there. And she says, I hope I can stay up late enough to watch this, because she's really excited about it.
Wow.
But we're going to wait and give everybody a few minutes to come in and say hello. Y'all say hello if y'all are here, so that Dr. T will know that you are ready to visit with her. And I have to tell you, I mean, I think I get excited about every interview I do. Last Tuesday night, we interviewed a guy named Brian Smith, who does work with parents who've lost children. And I was really excited about that interview too, but I'm really excited about this one too. So it's like, I get so excited. All of them I've been excited about. Mellow Yellow, Crystal Torres, hi, hey, Miguel, hi, Katrina, it's nice to see y'all. Renee, hey, welcome. And as everybody continues to come in, hi, Tracy, we're gonna say hi for a few minutes, and then we're gonna get going with Dr. T. Rebecca, hi, Rebecca, I was gonna try to say your last name, but never mind. Hey, Miss Judy, how are you? Jennifer Casey, hi, hello, Renee, yeah, okay, hello again. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This is a very anticipated interview for me, because I'm very interested in the past life stuff. Not that I want to go live there, but I'm always really curious about it. And I know that you're a psychiatrist, right?
Yes.
Dr. T, you're a psychiatrist. And this is just one of the modalities that you use in therapy, is past life regression therapy, correct?
Yes. Past life regression therapy is really considered like a deeper form of Jungian analysis. When you do Jungian analysis, you know Carl Jung? Okay. So Jung, he uses dreams to interact with the unconscious material. When we are doing past life regression therapy, we're interacting with the material right there.
Wow, yes.
So it's even more powerful.
It's even more powerful, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we kind of jumped right into the conversation. I would really like for you to introduce yourself and tell us who you are, where you come from, how'd you get into psychiatry, and all that good stuff.
Oh my God! And this is a big question, and It's funny because today I heard your reading for Libra. I'm a Libra.
Yes.
So you said lead by example, and you said that to lead, I need to tell my story. Yeah. So this is going to be big, because the reason I became a psychiatrist, believe it or not, when I was like 10 years old, I had a conversation with an angel that has been with me my whole life. And he sat in front of me like you're sitting in front of me. I've seen him like 4 times in my life. Right. And he guided me. He took me step by step into what I would become in life. And he said, eventually, he said, you need to have that diploma in your wall, because you came to bring a message to people. And in order for them to listen to you, you need that diploma, because it's not the same thing, right?
Right.
If you have the credentials, then you're not an art that's talking about something that makes no sense. So that's really right. So that's
I'm
really
thinking I need to go back to school. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's how I knew since I was like 10 years old that I was going to be a psychiatrist.
Wow. Yeah. That is incredible.
Oh yeah, when I said like psychology, and he was like, no, you need to be a psychiatrist, because sometimes the problem in the attic comes from the foundations of the building, so you need to know the body. So he talked me through it, and I'm like, oh, I have to go to med school. Yeah, you have to go to med school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Okay, so I have a question before we start getting into past life regression therapy, because I really do think that's a big draw for most of the people here. But before we get to that, I am of the belief that Louise Hay wrote a book or something about you can heal your life, and she talks about how our emotions really do cause illnesses and stuff. So like I've got this shoulder thing going on right now, and I don't know what it is. So today I got online and I looked up I think there's a website called The Alchemy of Healing or something, where it relates the parts of your body with the emotions that you're dealing with. And so I don't look at it as the gospel, like this is true blue, but I really believe that it's something we should consider. Is that something that you consider when like your angel said, you need to know the body?
Yes, true, of course. And then sometimes when like, I remember this case talking about this. I had a patient come into my office once, and she had a dropped foot, what we call a dropped foot, which is a foot that she could not hold up. So she had tried everything, and she had gone to the neurologist and the physiatrist, everybody, and they could find nothing wrong. So she came for a regression. So I put her under, and it turned out this was not a past life, but it was an event in her life where she had had a huge car accident. And when she put her foot on the brake, the whole trauma of the situation went into her foot. So we released the tension from the foot, and she came out walking and screaming, "It's a miracle! It's a miracle!" No, it's not a miracle.
No, it's science. Yeah, it's science. But we don't think about that. We allow doctors to, and nothing against doctors, and nothing against the pharmaceutical companies, except I do kind of have something against them. But it's always, here, take a pill, here, take a pill. And sometimes that's not always the answer.
No, it's not.
That's I could get on a soapbox, but I'm not gonna. Okay, so whenever I said I want you to talk on this deep dive show on Tuesday nights, what was going through your mind? What are you thinking you want to talk about? And just take it away. Start talking.
Well, maybe I think maybe how I came to do past life regression therapy. My grandfather was a very spiritual man. Okay. And when I was in college, he read Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. I trained with Brian Weiss. And he gave me that book because I think deep down he knew I would end up doing this. So I read that book and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to meet him someday. So finally I went through med school and I went to train with him. So I think that things happen for a reason all the time. So before I went to the training, I had a dream with Dr. Weiss. And it was a dream about a past life. And it was a very, very weird dream because we were in a castle, in the top of the castle, and we were dressed as monks. I was a man too. And we were talking like telepathically. And we had huge books that had like, I think they were astrological charts. So we're sitting there, but we're Catholic monks. So it didn't make any sense to me why a Catholic monk would be looking at astrology charts.
Right.
So suddenly we look at each other because there's people coming up. It was a castle on a mountain, and there were people coming up, and they were Templars because I recognized the cross. So we have, what astounded me was that we knew they were gonna come. So we had a plan to escape, but instead of them coming in and trying to get us, they were telling us, move, leave. So we said goodbye, and each one went their own way. So when I'm training with him, I tell him, Dr. Weiss, I had this dream and you were in my dream. And I tell him the dream, and he looks at me and he says, so I was in the dream? And I say, yeah, you were. And he says, well, I know what you're talking about. This was the 13th century. We were Cathars. And if you start reading about the Cathars, I had never in my life heard of the Cathars, ever. If you start reading about them, you'll understand why you're here. So suddenly this energy, it was a heat that came between us. It was like a hot energy. And I'm like, Dr. Weiss, what is this heat? And he goes like, it's the energy. It's a confirmation. So, So that was my debut into understanding that this is real in a way, so I think it happened because I needed to understand that this is a fact. It's not something that you believe. People ask me, do you believe? I'm like, no, I don't believe. I know.
Right.
I know for a fact that we have lived many lives.
Right. And
our
body,
I'm sorry?
I was going to say, and our body communicates with us kind of like it did between the two of you to confirm what was going on, right?
Yes. So that was kind of my introduction into it. So I came back to Puerto Rico. I am from Puerto Rico. So I came, so yeah, we've been through a lot in the last few years. It's been hard. Yes. In fact, I left Puerto Rico because I had a dream. I left Puerto Rico in May 2016, and I didn't know what it was, but I knew I needed to leave. I was told, you need to get out. And I got out. I cried like crazy, but I did. And a year and some months later, the hurricane happened, and then everything that's happened afterwards.
Wow.
But it was a great experience to I came back to Puerto Rico, and I ordered the first book that I ordered about Cathars because I didn't know anything. So it turns out.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to stop for just a second. Can you say that word just a little bit slower?
Cathars.
Cathars?
Yes, it's Cathars.
Okay, Cathars. Okay.
Yes, they lived in the south of France between the 10th and 13th century, and they were basically exterminated by the Catholic Church. They were declared heretics because they induce spiritual experiences in people to help develop their spirituality. They did not believe in hierarchies in the church. They let women become perfects. They called them perfects. You could, as a woman, even if you had been married and had children and a man, they could become perfects, which was the highest rank in the Cathars. They developed the first bank system in the middle of the Middle Ages. Wow. They had a democracy, so they became a threat to the Catholic Church, and this is why they killed them. But then when I see this book, in the first few lines, it says, in I don't know, 800 years, the vine is going to be green again, saying like they made a pact to come together in the 20th century to complete what they could not complete at that time, because they were.
I have chills right now. Yes.
And that first book that I read was from a psychiatrist from Britain that had found out he had also been a Cathar. So it just started to come together for me, like, oh my God, this is crazy, But I understood that this was my path, something I needed to do.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go back to the chat for a little bit because it's been a little busy. People saying hello coming into the room. Renee and Terica, hi, how are you? Raven, hi, ladies. D, hi, how are you doing? I can't say it. ALPKSA, hi. Maria, hi. Debbie, hi. Rebecca, hi. Raven, she loves this talk so much. And Maria said she loves your name, Delia.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. And Judy's saying fantastic. Jennifer, no, you don't. You're perfect. I don't know who you were talking about. Did you say you were imperfect?
Well, the name of the Cathars in the highest rank was a perfect.
Oh, okay. But she says, no, you don't. You're perfect. I think she was responding to something that one of us said. Okay. Origin, hi, how are you? How long have people been using past life regression, and why did it start? Do you know that?
Well, I don't really know that, but I know that there were some investigators before Dr. Wise that were, looking into it. Like Dr. Stevenson, he had like a few books. He was a psychiatrist too, and he chased like cases from children that would remember their past lives, and he corroborated the information. So there was some research into it before. And I guess, this has been something that has spontaneously happened to people before. It's not like it happened,
Well, in Many Lives, Many Masters, they were just trying to do a childhood regression, if I recall, and she ended up back in some other century, and he was like, what?
Yes.
So yeah, it happened spontaneously. He wasn't looking for it to happen.
Exactly. And it happens through dreams. There's a lot of people who have very vivid dreams that are actually past life recollections.
You know, I have a dream that I had a recurring dream whenever I was very young, and always felt like it just meant that no matter what, God was always going to take care of me. And but whenever I was in an intuition class, and she said, Cheryl, that's not a dream, that's a past life memory.
Yes.
And I'm like, there's no way. But anyway, we can talk about that. No, nobody's here to hear me talk. They hear me talk all the time. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Christina, this is much like, oh, Katrina says she's had a lot of dreams like this as a child, and she's so glad that she's here to listen to this. So Rena said that she had a death experience and was told, not now, you have things to do.
Yes.
But I'll be with you. I named her Millie, and I talk with her every time. She talks with her all the time. So she met her angel or guardian or whatever.
Probably. Yeah. One of her guides, or probably her guardian angel. Yes.
Yes. So Maisie, hi, how are you in Montreal? Mary Kane, trying to log on from Vermont, dark code, Rainy not here. Sorry to hear about that. I hope you get logged on. Did it pause for anyone else? I hope y'all aren't having problems. I don't think we're having problems over here. Maria says, oh my God, Delia, your story's amazing.
Oh, sweet.
Hello, Edward. Nice to see you. Mary, hi. 444 Copper Top. I have many family and friends in Puerto Rico affected by the earthquakes. Can't say it. ALPKSA Lamanik or some Lamica. I'm sorry, y'all. TA, hey, TA's in Florida. So that's where Delia is, in Florida. Yes. Dr. T. I'm sorry, Dr. T. I think you should be called doctor. You worked hard for that. So TA says hello from Florida. He's there. Jennifer Casey says, I heard him tell this story at a Hay House conference. So hearing your perspective is wonderful and divinely timed, because it's divinely timed that she turned on this video tonight.
Oh, wow.
Andrea says hello from Wells. What part of Florida?
I'm in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Oh, so you're not close to the beach.
Yes, we are on the East Coast. Yes.
On the East Coast. Okay. Jacksonville, Florida. Because Mary Kane says she wants to move. Anterica said, wow, you said it perfect. Y'all, I'm sorry. All of these comments, it would take so long to read them. So what I do, and I hope it's okay with you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm so glad y'all are here. I will go through and watch for question marks. So if you have a question, make sure you put a question mark, or maybe 2 or 3, to make sure it catches my attention so that I can bring the question to Dr. T. We do have a question here. It says, so sorry to hear about the pain your people are suffering in Puerto Rico. This is Origin 1. Does anyone think it's time for a day or more for constant healing prayer in this world? Do you feel like it's a time for constant healing prayer? I think it's been time.
We should do that all the time. I mean, I think we should be in constant prayer, and that's just being in contact with your higher self, you know, and just asking to be an instrument, and we will bring healing to this world. That's the only way.
That's the only way. And Dr. T, what is your prayer experience like? Whenever I hear constant prayer, I'm thinking, aren't we always in constant prayer anyway? We just, we're not conscientious about what we're praying, because I think anytime we're communicating with spirit, for me, we're praying.
Yes, I think it's a matter of being present.
Right, being present.
Of gathering all your energy and being present and connect, the connection, the spirit connection. I sometimes see you when you're reading, and I know when you're connecting to something, and I see how your energy changes because you're connecting, that's prayer. Because when you do that, you're bringing this energy, the spiritual energy, to the world, and that's what we all need to do if we want to heal this place. I mean, that's what we need.
That's what we need to do. Yeah. Great question. Okay. So, and Terica wants to know, how can you tell the difference between a dream and a memory?
Well, because when you have a memory from a past life, the emotion is so strong that it's like you are reliving it, which is different from a memory. When you have a memory, you're not reliving the whole physical and emotional, trauma or whatever is going on. You're just having a memory. But when you are in a past life regression, you're feeling physically, you're feeling emotionally, and you're perceiving the thoughts of that other person that you're seeing, which is yourself. So you see yourself as the one experiencing, but at the same time you can look from afar. It's very weird, you know?
Very weird. Yeah, kind of like you're watching a video or something.
And living it at the same time.
And living at the same time. Her question was actually, how can you tell the difference between a dream and a past life memory when you think you're dreaming?
Because of the emotion that you feel.
Because of the emotion. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna feel the same. You're gonna feel like you were there. It's different from a dream.
Okay, very good. And so let's see, any more questions here? Okay, guys, remember, if y'all have a question, you have to make sure you put question marks. Anything spiritual come out of any of the regressions? If so, can you tell us about it? Do you have any stories of any kind of?
It's amazing. I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years, and there's been a transformation in my own person by doing that service, right? And one of the things I wanted to talk about, which I think is very important, is that I've learned through experiences in past lives, and I'm going to talk about one case specifically that can make us understand something that I think it's very important.
Good.
I had this girl. She was doing regressions, and she was coming to a next life, right? She's in between lives, and she's with, you know, her guides. And the way she saw it, it was like they were 3 or 4 different TV screens, and in each one there was a couple, and there was a story about this couple and where the potential parents she could have and the potential life she would live in those 4 screens. And with the help of her guides, she had to choose one of them. So what I'm getting at is that before we come here, we are choosing exactly the parents that we're going to have, the conditions in which we are going to incarnate, because they are perfect for the purposes of our soul evolution. It might not be what our egos want.
Right.
But when through the course of life, you come to terms with this, and you understand that no one has done anything to you, that you chose everything that happened, and that the people who are supposed to be the villains in your life were really doing something out of love because it was going to be a lesson for you, then you can let it go.
Right. And I think that's probably one of the hardest things for people to hear. They'll say, why would I have chosen that? Of course, our ego would ask that question.
Yes.
But I have a friend who did, she had some blocks and it was related to her mom, and she went in and did a little bit of work, and the therapist, that's what she told her coach, it was an intuitive coach, you know, basically that's what you chose because you were trying to learn something. They went into detail about it, but basically it was the same thing that you just said. That's a huge thing, especially in a society, Dr. T, where we like to blame our parents for everything.
Yes, exactly.
Those poor people, you know, they did the best they could in most cases.
Exactly.
Even the ones that didn't do a good job, they did the best they could based on their own circumstances.
Yes.
But anyway, okay. I want to keep looking for questions, but I really want you to have time to say everything you want to tell us about. So is there anything else in particular that you want to talk about? And then we can go to questions again a little later.
Well, the other thing that I think is very important is that all lives are kind of holographic. And that's a concept that's a little difficult to understand. But I throughout the years, I was able to see it. And I'm a quantum physics like freak. So I read about it all the time because it really helps me understand that time and space does not have the order that we think it has. So that's what makes the fact that past life therapy is holographic. And what I mean by this is, if you take a photograph and you take a little piece of the photograph, you cannot see the whole picture. But when you take a hologram, every little piece of the hologram, you can see the whole picture. And this is what I mean by holographic lives. So whenever you transcend something in your present life, you're affecting your previous lives and you're affecting your future lives. So when we do past life regression therapy and we go back to any traumatic event and we heal it and we look for forgiveness. And also we do what we call soul retrieval, which is basic for past life regression therapy, which is take that piece of your energy or soul or whatever you want to call it, that's basically trapped in the trauma, and we release it and we bring it to the present. All your lives are affected, not just the present life, not just that past life, but also your future lives. Wow. So
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask that. I get real excited. So if I go to interrupt you, say, don't interrupt me right now because this is important. Don't hesitate to say that to me. But my question was, so are all these lives happening simultaneously? Because there's no real time and space?
In theory, and according to quantum physics, yes.
Yes. Wow.
So this is why being present is so important. And one of the things that I tell people is, first thing in the morning, we need to have a process to center ourselves and to call out our energy into the here and now, no matter what it was, especially when we were dreaming, because we travel when we're dreaming. Yeah. So you have to command your energy to be here now. And that process is very important for you to be able to navigate the rest of the day, because if you start the day fragmented, it's going to be harder to handle your day. So
I've never heard that before. I've never heard it put that way before. I love that.
That's how I see it. I mean, I wake up at 5:30, so I can have an hour of meditation every morning. And my meditation is very different than most people. Everybody has theirs. I take my journal, I use my tarot, I use my oracles, I ask spirit for guidance, I pull 3 or 4 cards, I read about them, I meditate about them, and that's my meditation for the day. I ask for guidance for my day.
Right.
And that centers me in such a way I can handle whatever comes.
Right. Right. I love that. So see, somebody like me would say, well, you didn't really meditate an hour. You spent an hour quiet time, but meditation was actually only blah, blah, blah. But that's just me. I compartmentalize everything, but it's all meditation.
Oh, yes. It is, because you're having a conversation with your higher self.
Of the whole time.
That's what it's all about.
That's right. That's right. Okay. You ready for some more questions?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So I'm going to have to go back up here and hope I can find where we were. Y'all, if I miss any questions, please know that it's not on purpose, because I'm trying here. Let's see. Is it true that we ask for the life that we have? Basically, you answered that question a while ago. Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Huh?
The only instance in which I saw that you could not do that was when someone committed suicide.
Okay, so that's Raven Dove that asked that question. Okay, you want to expand on that a little bit for me?
Yes. Some people think that you go to hell when you commit suicide. That's not what happened. No. You're taken to a place where you are in a way forced to meditate a little about what you did. But the point is that you don't get to choose your next life. You have to incarnate. Because you are so low on the wheel of reincarnation because of the vibration in which you died. We need to understand that enlightenment has to be achieved while you are incarnate. So because when you commit suicide, you're vibrating in such a low level, you are forced by the gravity of the wheel of reincarnation to just incarnate in the next available body. And you might understand that they get to choose their bodies that no one wants because they're really bad, difficult lives. So you are forced to reincarnate in whatever life is available. That's the only situation in which I saw that you were not allowed to discuss with your masters and guides and choose your next life.
Something different. So that kind of throws me for a loop somewhat, but that's okay. I mean, because I guess whenever you say we're not allowed to choose, if you commit suicide, you're not allowed to choose your next life. Is it that, well, it doesn't matter. I was gonna say, is it that your guides and masters say, okay, look, to keep you on the path that your soul really, to keep you on the path that you really want to go, we're gonna send you here to do this to help you do here. But it's not, you don't have a choice, dude, you going there, or is it that?
Well, it's I think it's more the way I see it, or the way I've experienced it. It's more like you need to be in a higher vibration to communicate with masters and guides. Oh. But if you're dying in this very low vibration, you don't have that opportunity.
Got you.
It's not that they're punishing you. It's actually that it's a vibration thing. I don't think the universe is intentionally doing anything. It's a vibration thing.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying. I've always had a problem with people saying that people who commit suicide go to hell. I've always had a problem with that, because I've said whenever somebody is that desperate and that low, surely God would have mercy on that person, not send them to fry for the rest of their life.
I think that the lesson might be that you really can't escape. You have to deal with life, you know?
Deal with life, yeah. So this lady talks about Dolores Cannon. Hi, the Danduni. I think that's how you say it. She said Dolores Cannon, she must love Dolores Cannon, who also did this same kind of work. And she came up with that quantum healing technique type thing too. Okay, so how can you tell? I'm looking for questions. Okay, so here we go. Anything spiritual? We asked that one. Is there a way to self-induce a past life regression?
Yes, there's Dr. Wise has a few CDs, and if you listen to them, you might be able to do it. Yeah, sure.
And it's safe.
Yes. Yeah, it's safe,
Is there any reason, as somebody who practices this as a therapy, would recommend against that?
Against doing it yourself? I don't think so. I think that if it becomes too, if it gives you too much anxiety, you're going to get yourself out of it. Like when you're in a hypnosis state, it's not like you're unconscious. You kind of know what's going on. Right. So you can handle it. And people always ask me, like, how do you do this? And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Basically, I am asking the person's guides and, higher self to guide the regression. I'm not going to decide which lives they need to go, because those guides are more intelligent than me. They know better. I'm just doing a service so this person can get in touch with whatever they need to know. So your higher self or your spirit or your guides will never give you information that you can't handle.
Right.
You have to have that basic trust that in fact, you never get in life anything that you cannot handle.
Right.
So the same goes for the regressions.
We hear that all the time. Oh, God never gives you more than you can handle. We hear that all the time growing up in our cultures. And it's like, shut up. I don't want to hear that anymore.
This is too much. I don't know if I can deal with it.
Yeah, I'm done with all that. Do past life memories always come in dreams? I always have visions of being an abandoned child.
Well, probably there's a resonance there. Maybe she doesn't have the whole story, but probably there's a past life in which she was abandoned.
So she's, and feeling it. So it doesn't have to come in a dream.
No, it doesn't have to come in a dream.
That was this until. So hi, this until. So it looks like you're very connected to something that went on in a past life there. It's a resonance. Okay, so
and remember that lives are holographic. So you're gonna have some of it in your present life. In some way, it's gonna show.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about this for just a second, then we're gonna get back to our questions. So is it true that you can take a block from a past life? Okay, so I got on here the other day and talked about, I have issues with money, that's manifesting money. So I kept telling my friend, I must be cursed or something. And then I thought, well, maybe it's a block. Maybe it's something from a past life that I have some kind of hiccup in my subconscious about it. You can find something out like that. I mean, it could be even an emotional thing, not Well, that it's all emotional, huh?
Yes, of course. It's like I remember I had a spiritual teacher a few years ago, and she would hoard food. I mean, whenever you went to her fridge, I sometimes I would go in and clean her fridge because it was like crazy. I'm like, this is all expired. Why do you keep all this food? Well, she had grown up during the Depression.
Right.
So it was so ingrained in her psyche that there was not going to be enough food. Same thing goes for past lives. It is very subconscious, but it's there.
Right.
So things that happen in a past life are manifesting in this one as, that belief that there's never enough.
Yeah. So they travel into this life. That's the whole reason for past life regression therapy.
Yes.
To be able to, that's how Dr. Weiss found out about it. They were trying to determine something in that one lady's psyche. Okay. So Rena Payne, Rena, I think I said your name wrong earlier. I'm sorry. Why was I returned? This has been a real hard time for me. She wants to know, why did she come back? She just recently signed up to take a Reiki class. She felt guided to do this, but why did she come back this time? Because it's been hard for her. Well, we don't know.
No.
I don't mean to giggle at your question, but it's hard to answer a question for an individual like that when we're doing a live event like this. So we're going to stick to more general questions that benefit the entire population.
So if it helps her in any way,
Uh-huh.
when we choose difficult lives.
Well, we lost your voice.
Sorry?
Your volume went way down.
I can't hear you. I don't know why.
I can't hear you either.
I can't hear you either.
Can you hear me now?
I don't know what happened. Oh my God.
Somebody's playing with our sound. Can you hear me at all? Did you hit your mute button?
We don't have any.
Do you have a mute button down to the left? Guys, can y'all still hear us? Let me know. Say yes if you can hear us. Just say yes, because we're not. You hear her. Can you hear me also? Because do you hear me now?
I cannot hear you.
Wow. That is wild. Okay, maybe it's your guides saying I'm talking too much. So you talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, barely.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wow.
Do you have your mute button on?
I'm sorry?
Your mute button?
No, it's not mute. Mine is okay.
Okay. Well, take it away.
But you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so what I was gonna say, if it
Yeah.
helps her, is that whenever we choose very difficult lives, it's because we chose to have an opportunity for enlightenment. Okay? Sometimes we
Yes.
think it's the universe is, punishing us or something. No, you chose because you wanted to be enlightened.
Right.
So if you use the opportunity to find it in you, to go deep into your soul and heal, you are going to find enlightenment.
Right. So I know you can't hear me. So they were, so they were vibrating higher before they came back.
I don't know what you're saying.
You don't know? Okay.
You want to tell me again?
Oh man. Can I call your cell phone and we can talk that way? Because they can hear both of us.
I can't hear you. Let me see if I can hear you through.
I'm going to email you.
Okay.
Are you on your phone? Is your Zoom on your phone?
Okay. I don't understand what she's saying. Let me see if I can hear you through here.
Okay, guys, we're trying. Mercury retrograde strikes again.
I'm
Oh,
hearing you through.
I hear you now too.
YouTube.
Okay. So you're on YouTube. So did you press the mute button on YouTube?
But I hear you with the delay through YouTube.
Yeah.
But I can hear you through YouTube, but I can't hear you through the phone. I don't know why.
Right. Okay. So, and you didn't press a mute button somewhere. So you need to press the mute button on YouTube.
Are you hearing me?
You have to press the mute button on YouTube.
And
Okay, guys, listen.
It's okay. It's not.
Oh, Judy says I'm loud. Okay, so guys, listen, this is what we're going to do. We are going to jump off and then we're going to jump back on. So don't go away. Watch for us. We're just going to start this all over again. I am so sorry about that. Ask her to put in headset with mic. Do you have a headset with your mic? Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I don't have a headset.
Okay, we're going to jump off and jump back on.
Will you call me again?
Yeah, we're going to jump off and get back on. Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay.
So I'm going to leave the meeting. Should I
yes, leave the meeting.
Okay.
Yes.